And we are live. Greetings, Otaku Faithful, and those watching on Beamly.com. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief.
Animerick here, Hannah the King.
SMX Wing, Master of Whispers. Go.
Bankai 922, Master of Ships.
And we are here to bring you all a special Thursday night edition of the Small Council Live Hangout right here on Otaku Assemble Weekly. And as always, here to bring you the latest in this week's Small Council Live Hangout discussion. And this will be our discussion for Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 6, entitled The Laws of Gods and Men. Now, let's kick off the discussion with our roundtable overall thoughts on the episode. And let's go ahead and kick things off with Steve. Give us your thoughts.
I thought this was the best episode of the season. Right after the episode had finished, I was thinking episode 2, because they had the great... Overall, this episode was better. Like, all the scenes, they all had relevance, and they all got certain characters who were stagnant, moving, and that ending was the best of the season too. So I thought it was the best episode of the season.
Alrighty, Bankai, what are you thinking?
I might have to agree with SMX Wing. I mean, I would even go. I don't know. I mean, I want to try to say it might be. I can't, but I can't. I can't top it. It can't be as better than the Red Wedding. I can't go that far. But I will agree, it is better than the Purple Wedding episode. It was definitely an episode that just blew the roof, So yeah.
And what do you got on your mind, Rick?
Hands down, the best episode this season and most of last season, because first, when people refer to the Red Wedding, let's face it, the Red Wedding was a shock value one-moment episode. And the Purple Wedding was a very well-made episode and was made better than the Red Wedding. But this episode, the story progression of each plot point, the wrap-up of finally seeing Yara coming to get Theon, and then of course the starting of a new story point that seems very intriguing with Reek, and then of course the trial, which Peter Dinklage maybe without a doubt his greatest performance to date on this show. So, hands down, this was an amazing episode and one of the best episodes in the entire series.
Okay, and generally, my thoughts are the same. I think we all agree it's a solid, unanimous consensus that this was the best episode of the season thus far. But I do agree more so in line with Rick, where I would even go as far as to say this was one of the better of the entire series. I think that with season 1, I still think season 1's the standout season. That to me, that has some of the most memorable scenes, some of the best episodes, and then season 2 sort of follows suit with the same thing. Season 3, to me, that's when certain episodes started falling out of favor and things like that. This episode holds up, I think, higher than the majority of season 3, and I would put it along the same lines of the majority of season 1 and some of the season 2 episodes. So, yeah, I mean, best episode in a very long time, like I say, and one of my most favorite episodes, I would probably say, since season 1, and that's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with general thoughts out of the way, let's go ahead and let's kick off our discussion with our first topic. Steve, you're at bat. Bankai, you're on deck.
Okay.
I want to get things started with the speech. You guys know what speech I'm talking about. The epic speech of the episode. Davos's speech to the Iron Bank.
Oh yeah, of course you're gonna go pick Stannis. Fucking Stannis fan, boy.
Okay. Before I get on into my thoughts, I just want to say, when Davos took off that glove and was pointing those stubby little fingers of his at the Iron Bank, all I saw sitting on that chair was Larry, Rick, and Bankai. Talking to you guys. He was talking to you guys.
He was
Wow.
like, this is for you.
It was for you guys.
No, wait. No, what it was? When Davos went before him, it was like send this to Larry. Tell him my master is useless. He says my master has no purpose. He says.
Okay, now let's see. Davos. What was that part? Now you made me lose my train of thought. Okay.
Oh, come on, dude. It was a couple.
All right.
I mean, I know the joke was funny, but damn, it wasn't that funny.
All right. Okay.
They go to the Iron Bank. They argue with the bankers.
Davos' speech was amazing, and it was directed at you guys. I remember last week we got into a little sidetrack, maybe I did, about Stannis, and you guys all said, well, the war is done, Tywin ended the war. Davos just told you right here, the war isn't over as long as Stannis lives. Just putting it out there. Now, as for the scene itself, I thought it was an amazing scene. It got Stannis back into things, because I admit, in the last 2 seasons, he has been pretty stagnant. The character's been pretty stagnant, stuck in Dragonstone. But this got him back into the game. Now, that's when he was talking about Tywin, that should really open people's eyes because it's true. Everything Davos said was true. I know the Iron Bank had a good with their numbers and everything, and they made some points, but overall, what did you guys think of the scene? Did you guys bring your Stannis fanboyism up or what? That's what I want to know.
I would say I felt it kind of, for me, I felt it like that Davos was basically telling them, listen, Tywin, he's good and all, but soon his number's going to be up. His number's going to be up, and you're going to need someone new to come in. And the new guy to come in is Stannis, to some extent. That's what I got, because, I mean, when you think about it, the whole thing from the previous, the episode where he said Tywin was going on about the gold mines, and that supposedly they're dried up. You know,
yeah,
eventually broke. So eventually, that kind of correlates to this in a little way in saying that maybe this goes one point to Stannis, that maybe he can capitalize now to a certain extent because of the fact that, Tywin's bank, his gold mines are dried up and he's broke.
Yeah, but see that
scene first off.
Wait, go ahead, Rick.
My bad. I apologize. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, what I was saying was, I mean, the thing is, like with the whole financial situation going on in Westeros, that's all fine and dandy and whatnot. But the one thing that I took away from the scene, which I was actually I would say I was a tad bit disappointed just because of what their actual plan was. See, I thought that when we got the foreshadowing to the trip to Bravos a couple of episodes ago, when Davos came up with a bright idea to go ahead and send them that message, I thought they were going to try and attempt to sort of sabotage the throne's account. You know what I mean? Given the fact that the throne is in high debt to the Iron Bank, that they've been using up all the money to fight a war and all this, that technically speaking is, illegitimate. The Lannisters don't have a rightful claim to the throne. So I thought it was going to be more so of them trying to pull the financial rug from under them, sort of put a nail in the coffin of their financial security. I don't think that's what actually happened. I think that they just got the bank to agree to bankroll their next campaign.
Well, I don't think the bank wanted to be sided with anybody. I think they want to, just in case one wins over the other, that they're covered. I think that's what they were coming from, the Iron Bank. So they're not going to stop supplying the Lannisters just because Davos made a couple good points. I think they want to be on both sides of the coin here, but I think that's what they were doing.
But I mean that's in essence what they really did, right? They just went ahead and they gave them a loan.
Yeah, that's what they did.
So what you were going to say, Rick?
I like the scene. I I knew that either they were going to use the debt of the crown in their favor or ask for a loan. And I like the fact they kind of did that. They did both those things, because when Davos was like, "Look, we need this money to fund our campaign, but look, you're not going to get your money back." Letting him know Tywin's on his last leg. Cersei's not an honorable person. None of the other Lannisters are going to honor that debt. Or whoever's in power. So in essence, they did both those things. That I think, because that was the hook for the Iron Bank to give them the loan and give them the support they need. But my one problem, okay, going back to Stannis again, I feel that scene and that moment would have been so much more powerful if Stannis had spoken for himself instead of Davos. And I understand that Davos is the hand of the king, and that a king and a leader doesn't have to act as much. Their subordinates know what to do. But at the same time, I think it's very arrogant for Stannis the way he acts, that he already is a king, because that is arrogant on his part, to feel that he didn't need to speak for himself to get what he needs. This is his campaign. This is his mission. This is his entitlement that he's trying to get. And again, it was Davos did all the work. If it's not Melisandre, it's Davos. Stannis just kind of sits there and snarks. I did, though, find it funny when he was doing a dead end, and he just looked at Davos like, "You better do something. You better make this happen, Captain. You better get up there and get my money." He just gave Davos that look, and that's when Davos acted. And yes, that is an excellent trait to have, when you can just give one of your subordinates, especially your right hand, just that look, and they act and they know what to do. I will give Stannis that, and that's what the kind of relationship he has with Davos. But I just feel that scene would have had so much more power. Like, just imagine if Stannis was saying all that, and then he just gripped and grabbed Davos' wrist, ripped that glove, like, "Look, I always make sure I pay my debt." Just think about that for a moment.
Okay.
That's my only problem with that scene.
I get what you're saying, but had he done that, I know somebody would have come in here and said, "Oh, Stannis is still just whining. Stannis is still just complaining." It was much more powerful if Davos had done it. One of the most loyal and decent people in the show said it about him. Now that means much more to his cause than Stannis saying it himself.
What that sounds like? You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like, Rick, you make a good point, and I'm gonna let you finish. But Stannis has one of the most loyal men of all time, of all time. And look, I like Davos. Okay, I think I might like Davos even more than most. But my thing is this: I do agree with Vic in that same vein, because the thing is, as much as I've been getting on Stannis' ass about doing something, about being active, because remember, to all those people accusing me of being a Stannis hater, I am not a Stannis hater, just like I am not a Sansa hater. You know who I hate? Inactive fucking characters. Motherfuckers who don't do anything. I hate them. Okay? But here's my thing. Even like, I gave Stannis credit this week. I gave him credit. He got off his ass and he went to fucking Bravos. But as Rick points out, who's the one that gets the loan? Davos. Just like who was the one that acted on Stannis' behalf all throughout season 3? Alessandra. Stannis has still not done shit himself since Blackwater. Just saying.
And I also want to mention, though, the entry to Davos was amazing looking. Like, the cinematography, the way they did that. Sawyer 7 actually put it really well, where it literally did remind me, too, of when I looked at it again, the entryway when Lord of the Rings, when they go through those two mountains, those two statues, and how Frodo, they're sailing past those. It reminded me of that kind of, it was just really, really cool looking.
So Sawyer, never mind, I'm not gonna say that.
I thought it was taken from the Odyssey.
The Odyssey?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Huh?
I thought that scene was sort of from the Odyssey.
When he said that, I went back and I looked at that scene on YouTube, and then I went like, yeah, I can see that. It did, but there's been a lot of great cinematographic moments in this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, say what you will.
But that was definitely one of them.
About Stannis not actually doing something. He gets the people around him to do what they need to do. He gave the okay. All the things Davos was saying was with Stannis, so it was still indirectly tied to him. all of what he did was said. I mean,
No, I mean, look, I mean, it's both ways. I think that things are going to change for Stannis going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I hope things change for Stannis now because now he has what he needs to do something.
No, he doesn't. He
And
doesn't have any
hopefully now he will
alliances.
use this second chance to his fullest capacity.
He does. He still doesn't have any alliances. There's
But he
no
has
houses.
at least he can now has the he has the money.
So what?
But he can start making moves again, with without being worried about he can bulk up his army with the sellsword and start making moves again towards to be able to defend himself if he gets attacked. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping. I mean, towards
we're all hoping.
I mean, but Larry brings up a good point. Who will speak out? Who will align themselves with Stannis now?
Yeah, exactly. I don't. He doesn't have any friends, so I don't. It's like I say, you can't win the fucking war single-handedly. No one's going to be able to win the war single-handedly. And why did I drop off of my camera? Can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
I can see.
Oh, you can? I just disappeared off of my monitor.
I can see.
But yeah, you can't win the war single-handedly. That's my point. And Stannis has not aligned himself with any other houses, and that's his fault.
What? It's not his fault.
That's just thought. That's the more difficult it's going to take for him because it's one thing. We've mentioned this before. It's one thing to win the actual war, to win on the battlefield. It's another thing to actually hold a reign. And he's going to find himself having a difficult time trying to govern people who don't like him to begin with. That was Renly's whole point in season 2.
Yeah, but you blame him not gathering houses to his side on him. You can't blame it entirely on him. I mean,
on Stannis, yes, hell I can.
No, you can't. I mean,
yes, hell I can. Yes, hell. No bullshit. Yes, hell I can. Stannis had a perfectly good fucking ally in Robb Stark sitting right up there in the north, and they didn't do shit. Stannis could have dropped all his bullshit animosity towards Renly. They could have hashed that shit out, and he would have had a powerful ally right there.
Robb chose to not join him. It was not
no.
like
Robb was down to join him.
No, he wasn't.
That's why he sent Catelyn.
No, Stannis. Join Stannis, not Renly.
But Catelyn was like, y'all need to stop all this infighting and shit. The Catelyn was trying to tell him, like she said, if you were my boys, I would bust your ears or some medieval term like that. Together. But she's like, you guys need to stop fighting. She was trying to tell him, we can all just line together, take out the Lannisters, and...
Okay, I know it may sound like a broken record, I'm just going to say it again, but it's Stannis' by right.
That doesn't matter. Okay, all right.
I'm not saying he can't be nice or he can't bring people to his side.
Steve. Wait, Steve. By right, Ned was supposed to be made protector of the realm. We saw how that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I think by right, it doesn't really matter at this point if you have the right
and then let's not confuse who is whose by right because Robert was a fucking rebel to begin with.
Well, I mean, they took it over by right of conquest. I call that. They took it over.
That's true.
Now.
Yeah, okay. Hang on a minute, though. They took it over by right of conquest, but who has not done so yet? Who has not been conquesting to claim any right to any day? At least Robb fought.
But how are you supposed to fight when everybody abandons you? I'm not saying he can't be more charismatic or nicer. I'm just saying when Robb left him, you can't really blame that all on Stannis for Robb acting like, rash and after Ned got killed. He should have joined up with Stannis. They would have had a whole giant legion to take over King's Landing. But no, he
why Stannis though? Why? But wait. No, Robb's smartest move was to make the alliance with Renly because Renly was the one in the best position to benefit Robb. Stannis was in the worst position to benefit.
Renly is just the same as Robb. He didn't do what he was supposed to. It's frustrating, but
no, Renly got bit.
Steve's like, I can't believe y'all don't understand this concept. It's easy. It's
cool. Like I said, I've said it before. out of everyone on the contender, Stannis is the best. The only problem with Stannis is that with Stannis comes that Lord of Light religion, and that's bad for Westeros. That's my only problem with Stannis, because he's going to be burning people that don't confirm. So it's like, that's my only downfall with Stannis when it comes to him getting the Iron Throne, is that Lord of Light religion, and you can see he's going to make people confirm to it.
Yeah, we'll see how far that gets him.
Yeah, that's something else entirely. I hate Melisandre, so I can agree with you there. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Like I said, I gave him his props for this week. He got props this week. Is he any closer to fucking winning? I don't think so. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So anywho, in a change of subject, Bankai, you're at bat. Rick, you're on deck. Play ball.
All right. I guess we'll talk about the most depressing scene I've seen in this episode. Like, fucking Reek. Oh, God.
You think that was the most depressing? Well, yeah,
He's
that
in
was
a
pretty fucking
freaking
depressing.
cage with dogs. I'm like, no. I have no animosity towards Theon. I mean, what he did was fucked up, I know, but I didn't have any real animosity towards him. But this motherfucker Ramsay, man. Oh, what a sick motherfucker. It doesn't get any sicker than when you cut someone's... But anyway, yeah, basically, he was in the cage, and his sister came in from the islands to rescue him, and that was an interesting fight. I thought that fight was done pretty interesting when they were all fighting each other and shit. And
in the cage.
Yeah, Ramsay's got all these cuts and shit on his chest and stuff, and he's about to fight them, and then they had their tussle, and she goes to grab Theon, and he says, "No, no." I'm like, and that's when I knew, holy shit, this guy's fucked up. He's done. No, he's done. This is it. Theon is gone. He will never see the light of day ever again. And then his sister comes out and he says, "My brother is dead." And listen, the father told her he didn't want her to go. He said, "Don't, he's dead to me. He's done. We're moving on."
Game over, man.
Game over, man. It's over. Game's over. And then we had the scene with Ramsay. He's like, "Come, Reek." I'm like, this is like on some. I want to say Reek starts looking like what's his face from Lord of the Rings. Oh, shit, I forgot the name.
Gollum.
He looks like Andy Serkis.
Gollum, yeah. He's gonna start looking like Gollum and shit.
He looks like he could be Andy Serkis' son. He really does.
Yeah. I'm like, God damn. But yeah, he puts him in the this tub, and I'm thinking like he's gonna do some fucked up things to him, but he's not. He's just rubbing his back with water. He's like, I have a job for you. You're gonna impersonate someone, and he basically says, he's gonna be Theon Greyjoy, which I'm thinking means that it's going to lead to a certain thing where they're going to gain something from this by him impersonating himself. And I think, Rick, you stated it. You said, like, maybe this will pop his memory back into place.
Yeah,
and he might start acting like Theon.
This is a very interesting situation, because you rob someone of their identity, and then you find a usefulness that I want you to pretend to be the person I took away from you. What I hope happens from this is that this is the beginning of possibly Theon's like rise story, like where by betraying to be Theon, he remembers who it is to be Theon, and he somehow holds on to that and finds the will to overcome his fear because of Ramsay, and maybe journey back to be somewhat of what he once was. He'll never be what he once was, but at least not be Ramsay's pet anymore. That's what I hope
You know what the problem with that is, though? Theon didn't know who he was before that even happened.
I get what you're saying with that.
Theon didn't know. Theon wanted to be a Stark and he couldn't be one. He wanted to be a Greyjoy and he couldn't be one. Theon had no fucking clue who he was as a man before that even happened.
So do you think this is his character arc, just losing himself and finding new identities to latch onto, and now Reek is his newest identity, and that's
No.
pretty much what.
I mean, that's what's happened. You know, that's what's happened. I don't necessarily think that. I mean, I'm interested to see how it's going to turn out, but it's like I said in my review. I have a very strong inclination that this might just be, because I mean, first off, let's not forget why Ramsey wants to put this in motion, because Bolton got on his ass about abducting Theon, and
Right.
Bolton wanted to use Theon as a bargaining chip or some type of political tool to regain territory in the north that the Greyjoys had already taken over by this time. So I'm more along the lines of Ramsay's going to go ahead and he's going to use Theon to do just that, but that's going to put Theon at odds with the Greyjoys, with the Ironborn, with the fucking Iron Islands, because the second they run across him on a fucking battlefield, they're going to kill him. And if that's the case, then that's a huge fucking waste of his character. Now, will it be fucking just desserts? Oh, absolutely. Why? Because the only reason why Theon is in this place to begin with is because he turned on Robb for his fucking family. So for him to pretty much meet his end because he's turning against his family for somebody else, yeah, that I don't have time to go into how much fucking all the reasons why that makes fucking poetic justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good scene. It was probably my least favorite of the episode though, because like that speech that Yara gave on the ship to the Ironborn.
Oh, I remember that speech.
Dude, that speech was epic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but when she was saying like they did this to your prince, they did this. I mean, like the Ironborn I know don't give a shit either way. They don't give a crap about Theon or their prince or anything like that. They're a very hard bunch that takes pride in the fact that they're from the Iron Islands. They consider themselves to be more powerful, more greater than any other man in Westeros. So that's enough for them to go start killing people.
And the whole time she was saying that speech, you have Ramsay having sex with this woman.
Yeah, again, HBO.
Yeah, that's clearly HBO. But I don't just because that's how some of the Ironborn we've seen in the series might behave. I mean, does that mean that what she said has any less validity? I mean, think about this. If that's the fucking case, then why should Balin still hold a grudge over the sons he's lost if it don't matter? Or what, they got slaughtered in battle so they weren't Ironborn?
And I mean, there's diversity in the Ironborn because we know the men turned their, kicked Theon to the curb to save their own asses, or at least they thought it would. But we also know that the men that are serving Yara, from her own statement, are extremely loyal to her.
Yeah, they're loyal.
There is diversity in the Ironborn. I mean, they're still individuals, I think.
Clearly, because if that's the case, Yara wouldn't went in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's the difference between the show and the book. She didn't go in the book. That's just, she never went.
Oh, so that was all filler?
Yeah, it was a diversion from the book. She never went, and I guess the whole scene itself was just a nail in the coffin to Yara that Theon is really gone. So there's no point in worrying about him. I guess that was the point of the entire scene.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I will say though,
really
riddle me this: do you think Yara would have been a better fate if she just killed Theon instead of let her live, even though to her brother was dead, which is a very true statement? But do you think it was kind of somewhat cool for her to let Theon live that kind of life and not instead of just kill him?
Well, did she have a chance? Did she even have a chance to kill him, or?
No.
Yeah, she did.
She grabbed his hand and told him to come.
Once she realized that he was gone, I mean, she could have just dug her axe into him.
I think she came to that realization when she was hauling ass to her boat away from the dogs. Maybe not.
Nah, I think it was a little bit before that. Because
when
the moment that her state that he refused to go and bid her,
yeah,
I think that dawned.
Oh yeah, he did. I forgot about that. He did bite her.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, what's a worse fate? Do you think it was somewhat cool of her to leave him to that kind of life?
Well, I mean, no, I think I think it was just a matter of just pretty much letting him do what he wants to do. I mean, remember, Yara was the one who came to Winterfell and told him, "You need to come back with me because you can't hold this motherfucker." And when he said no, she just left.
Right.
You know, I mean, he wants to do what he wants to do, so she's going to let him do what he wants to do.
Okay.
I mean, I don't blame her for leaving. Shit, I'd have done the same damn thing.
Yeah, I don't blame her for leaving either. I mean, not at all. I mean, because what she said is true, and it is a very true statement. The Theon that she knew, or at least that she thought she knew, is dead. That Theon is never coming back.
Yeah, can't really argue with that.
So, what do you guys think the whole when he told him he wants them to act like someone else, which is Theon? What do you think that's leading to?
Well, it's like I said, he's going to try to. I'm thinking he's going to use Theon to try and take over some of the other to take back some of the other territories. That's not to. I'm not necessarily saying that he's going to use Theon to sort of like. I don't think he's going to try to use Theon so far into like infiltrate Pike and kill fucking Balin, Balin without him even knowing about it. I think that's too goddamn risky, and I don't think Ramsay's that damn smart.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying that they couldn't work, but the second Yara finds out about it, that scheme is nipped in the bud. So yeah, like I said, use them to take back some of the other territories. I mean, did they even say where Theon was going?
Nuh-uh.
No, he didn't say it. Or I think Rick said it in my afterthoughts. He said something about marsh.
There's this one particular like marsh or something that Balin Bolton was really concerned, like, we need that area in the north. I think that's maybe where and that he tasked that to Ramsay because he sent Locke to go to the wall, and then he told Ramsay, "I want you to take back the something marsh."
Yeah.
That's a area in the north that was really important. So I'm thinking that's what he's gonna have Theon do.
Either way it goes, I don't have high hopes for Theon. I think that this is. I mean, I think this is going to get whatever it is that Ramsay's doing, especially if he's trying to use Theon's position. I mean, he's literally using Theon's position against him. He's putting him in danger, knowing that he's a double agent. So, yeah, I think that's going to end up backfiring. It won't backfire on Ramsay, mind you. I think Ramsay will be fucking fine. Theon is the one I think is screwed. But we will see.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. Rick, you're at bat. I'm on deck.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we got Danny this week. First off, the scene with the dragon rising, really well shot, really well done. The black dragon was it was really nice to see it like kind of an up close shot, the way they animated and everything. I'm sure it cost a fortune to do.
Yeah, too damn much.
It looked amazing. It looked really cool. I actually thought the boy got burnt in the fire too. So that but I guess not. He just barely escaped by. But I remember SMX Wing, you said in the books he did get burned.
An event happens, something like that, but it might come later in the show. I don't know.
But with Danny's scene this week, I liked it. I liked it because Danny's kind of fucking up. Well, she's been somewhat fucking up. It just hasn't been as bad. And fucking up in the sense that she's not been listening to her crew. Since season 3, she's just been doing whatever she wants and whatnot. And it's worked, but now she's starting to suffer some consequences. First off, letting her dragons run wild over Slaver's Bay, pretty much. Not, tame, not keeping them, whatever, tied up or whatever. To the best of your ability, I mean, they are dragons, but still, just letting them run the landscape and hunt and everything, it affects the people. We saw that point blank. And now she has to pay that goat shepherd, what was it, twice or 3 times as much as what his original flock was worth.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running a kingdom and you're managing a budget, that's going to hurt. You can't afford to do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that. But what I think is going to have possibly even greater implications is that one of the master's son, who obviously was a high-ranking individual because he was on a council, he tells Danny that, you crucified my father, well, and I would like to give him a proper burial. And Danny rebuttals with, well, your father didn't, and the other masters didn't give these children a proper burial. And he explains that, well, my father was on the council that made this decision. He was opposed to it strongly, but he was overruled. You didn't take the time to consider that maybe some of them were opposed to these heinous acts and whatnot. You just judged them all equally, which is a mistake. And I know we all said pretty much that we agree with what Danny did. Those were children. But I think when we did this discussion, we didn't think there possibly would be implications to come back and take those into account. So there's that. But he asks Danny, and Danny, I guess, in the end decides to go ahead and let him give his father a proper burial. I am curious if this will have more repercussions, because I find it strong to believe in this series specifically that someone would just be content. Obviously, this man respected his father. He, held his father into high regard. To be content to just give his father a proper burial and still be a loyal citizen under Danny, kind of hard to believe. And we don't know if he does have any pull or not, what he's capable of or whatnot. So this could have some repercussions later on. Overall, I like the fact that this is a clear example of, first off, it's easy to take but hard to maintain. And I think that's going to be Danny's character arc going forward, learning how it is to maintain a kingdom, which is the right thing to do with her character if the end game is her going to Westeros. Because, she would be like, oh my god, there's still 200 plus people I got to see? God damn, I'm tired.
Yeah, but Robert didn't do that shit. That's why you have a hand of the king.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
shit, I'm waiting for the week where I can just be like, Rick, you do the small council. I ain't doing. I got too much shit to do.
But overall, I like the fact that some things are coming to bite her in the ass, and I think this is what she needs. She needs to struggle now. She needs to learn what it is to rule. That it's not a cakewalk. That it's not all glamorous and beautiful, and people just call you mother or Misa. It's not all about that. There's more to it. You have to earn that. There's work that goes behind that. And I'm really going to see how much more they're going to develop this character arc, and I'm looking forward to it. So, what do you guys think?
What was it, that episode where what's that guy's name? Who was on the who was at King's Landing? The guy who was telling her, mercy.
Oh, Berenstain, Sir Berenstain.
Yeah, he told her maybe you should show them mercy. And he's like, I will answer injustice with justice. And I think at that point you'd say to yourself, well, maybe you should have, I don't know, questioned them maybe? Maybe see who actually was doing these things to the children and not, That was probably the only instance that I saw, I would say, to a certain extent, where you could say that maybe she should have, done that. She didn't know.
She didn't ask.
She didn't ask. That was the more important. She didn't.
It's like I said. I'm glad that Danny finally got a slice of humble pie this week, because she's been pretty much doing whatever the hell she wanted to. And the thing is, like so many children of the world these days, yeah, when you turn legal, when you're an adult, you can do whatever the hell you want to. But with those choices comes consequences. And you need to know that, okay, yeah, feel free to do what you want, but that's going to come with a certain amount of consequences, and you need to be ready to accept said consequences. That's adulthood, kids. So what?
That's like the theme of the show.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. How many characters' downfalls have been repercussions from an action they took or something they said?
Dozens.
Yeah, well, I mean, the scene. I like the scene for the same reasons you guys do. She's struggling now, and I enjoy that. I like to see Danny struggle because I'm not the biggest Danny fan, but I do like her. But I mean, a couple weeks ago, you guys were all gung ho. You wanted those guys burned up, and now.
Yeah, that is true. Honestly, I didn't predict that we would come back to this. I mean,
Well, yeah, that is true too. Same thing. I didn't think they'd be retreading this territory. But once again, yeah, I wanted the motherfuckers burned up. But did that mean that I didn't, okay, this is what I'm saying. If I was in Danny's shoes, I wouldn't just kill them all nonchalantly with at least investigating on the shit. You know what I mean? Or at least letting the dude stand trial. Because once again, what have I always said in my reviews when it comes to things like revenge? And I'm not saying this is revenge necessarily, but the thing is, revenge isn't revenge unless you let the person know why it is you're doing it and that you're the one doing it. So if I wanted to retaliate against a bunch of slave masters who crucified these slave children, I would let them know, this is why you're being crucified. Well, first off, I would put them on trial so everyone else can see. It's like, you see them? I'm making an example out of them. And then I would let them know in public, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and this is what's going to happen to you. Dude, it's the same reason why with people on YouTube, I'll call them out before I talk to them in private. It's like, no, if I got a quarrel with you, I'm going to put it out in the open, let everyone know why, before I decide to either verbally or fictitiously crucify you. You know? So I would have done that first.
Right.
Second, do so with the implication that, hey, this could backfire on me. Maybe someone might have a grievance about it. Hell, let's not even erase this possibility. Who's to say that someone won't try to retaliate against her for it? Have we even considered that thought? That someone might actually try to mobilize military force against her?
That's true.
That is still a possibility.
that's why I say this whole thing is I think it's gonna have further repercussions. Like I was in Zoro stream, they're like, how can the dude even touch Danny? I said, I don't know right now. I didn't predict that this would even come back to haunt her, but now that it has, I can see it being one of, definitely having further repercussions because I don't see this kid who respects his father so much just letting it go.
Probably a bunch of people in the city just like him too.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And I mean, and how easy would it be for them to rally behind one of their own against a foreigner?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many revolutions have we seen happen for that same fucking reason? Hell, Rob went to war because of that reason.
Right.
So they wouldn't have to bow before a fucking Southern king.
I will say, I guess maybe Danny judged them all because it's safe to say that in Astapor, all the slave masters were a bag of dicks. It's safe to say that, I think. Because I think Astapor, they focused on raising Unsullied. That was so they all were just scum. Yokai, we really didn't get a good assessment of what they were like in Yokai. But maybe Marine was that one town that was more diverse. Because I think it was the greatest town of Slaver's Bay. And she just made that assessment that they were all cruel, evil slave masters. Which, being a slave master, yes, you're a terrible person, but there were some quasi-nice slave masters that treated their slaves, somewhat well.
Also, I don't think she. Do we know if she killed a bunch of slavers in Yonkai?
Yeah, I don't know that. I know, Astapor, she burned them all.
Mm.
Well, it's
And
because
she had
Astapor
Unsullied
did
kill them all.
as
Yokai,
much as-
I don't know what they did. They never showed what an extent they did to Yokai.
Mm.
Yeah, because she just pretty much sort of forced a surrender in Yonkai. So
Yeah. Because when I heard they took back Astapor too, in that one episode, I was like, how? They all got massacred. Who was left to take back Astapor?
travelers.
Yeah.
Could be.
Because she slaughtered everyone in Astapor. I know that for a fact.
But yeah, like I said, I'm glad that at least Danny's being forced to deal with this shit. You know what I mean? Cause I mean, you can say what you will. You know, that's sort of the product of being a ruler. You know, uneasy lies the head that bears the crown. But I think this is just logical fucking repercussions that come from being a conqueror. I mean, this is the sort. I mean, when you get into the business of taking over cities, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of on the shopping list. It kind of comes with it.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is what she signed up for, more or less. So that's that. So anywho, so that's gonna bring me to my topic of discussion for this small council. And pretty much what I want to highlight is I want to take a time to highlight my boy Varys in this episode. Because first off, I think this is the most we've seen of Varys all season long. And second, just, I mean, it's a perfect pivot point since we were just talking about Dany, because that was the main focus of their small council meeting in the episode, was the fact that now I guess we can say that no one can claim ignorance when Dany comes roaring to fucking Westeros, because now they all know. Not only do they know that she's still alive and kicking, but they know that she's taken over all these cities, and they know exactly how much how much manpower she actually has. And then not only that, dude, remember when Pycelle asked about Mormont? Now we know that Jorah isn't even their informant anymore.
That was I thought that was we knew that since season 1.
No, but they didn't know that. We knew that. Yeah. They didn't know that.
Oh, okay, I get what you mean.
Yeah. Cause I'm pretty sure that for the most part, they probably thought Dany was still dead in season 1. Because remember, the only one who ever brings her up later in the series is Varys.
Yeah, he keeps bringing her up. He keeps bringing her up.
Yeah, he's the only one, and that makes sense because he's the intelligent expert.
Yeah.
So, but that was the main crux of their meeting, was pretty much letting them all know, it's like, okay, you know, I understand we got some shit going on here, you know, on the home front, but we do need to pay some attention to what's going on over here. And apparently Tywin's planning something, you know, because he said he wants some people in Marine.
Rick said it in my afterthoughts. He said he had a pen and a paper, and last time he did that,
Tywin, I'm scared. I think I have an idea of what Tywin's gonna do, but still, like last time he was writing letters, we had a red wedding, man.
The one case where the pen is stronger than the sword.
Look. Tywin might as well have a death note. Shit.
Yeah, death note.
But
it's like, I don't like you. You go. You oppose my grandson's claim? There you go. What? You owe me money? There you go. You batted a bad eyelash at me? There you go.
Oh man.
So
I like the scene was good, but I think like whenever they mention Dany and her dragons, I find maybe it's the show writers. It's like they should let the characters show more urgency in their faces, you know?
Yeah, because they act like they. Well, I mean, it makes sense though. I mean, they don't. It would make. I mean, yeah, the fact that they sort of act about it all nonchalantly, yeah. But at the same time, you know, keep in mind these are still people who don't give two shits about what's going on north of the wall. Yeah. So
true, I get that, but they don't know of the White Walkers. But apparently, they believe that the dragons exist, and the dragons haven't existed for a long, long time.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody told me Santa Claus existed, I'll be like, I'm not gonna just go like, oh yeah, sure.
Like, Santa Claus did exist.
Okay.
Saint Nicholas is a historical figure.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I meant? The guy with the reindeers up north. That's what I meant. That's Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. The Coca-Cola invention.
Yeah. And also the whole treating Mace Tyrell like a little servant.
Oh, that was
yeah.
That was hilarious.
Let's be my pen and paper.
That would. I just don't see that ever happening though.
Or like in real life, like Mace would be like, get your own fucking pen and paper.
I mean, like he is sort of oafish, but I mean, to pen and paper treating him like that, I mean, that's like he's your equal. I mean, in title, he's like Tywin's equal.
Yeah.
I suppose the Hand of the King, maybe they're not equal, but in terms of being lords of their own houses, then yeah. But yeah, that was a really good scene. I enjoyed it. Varys is.
All right, two things though. Like Cersei, she should really not speak during small
Oh
council.
yeah.
She really should not speak.
Shut the fuck up.
No offense to women, but in her case, she really just shouldn't
Yeah,
speak.
she needs to shut the fuck up.
And
Stop
like
talking.
I swear, Varys is like the Game of Thrones equivalent of Facebook and Twitter. He always knows what everyone's posting on their like. Seriously, this man is just like, yo, and like his little birds, his little twins. He puts out
birds.
Hold on. Here it is. It's like, Tywin, you see this shit Danny just posted on Facebook? Nigga, she got dragons. Tywin's like, dragons don't win.
Like,
Dragons don't win wars. All our soldiers win wars. It's like, but she put pictures of the niggas. She got pictures of them. Look at this.
This fool doesn't know everything.
Look at this. She got pictures of them. She got pictures of them.
Oh god.
She got selfies with dragons.
That's one thing that kind of boggled my mind in this series. This is how fast information goes through the realm.
Yeah, it
She
is.
tagged your name in it.
That's one thing I've kind of like, just like Joffrey's. That even though I know in season 2, someone told me that Dany should not have been able to know about Ned Stark's death in the war. That was only for the show, but still,
Right.
the information just flows so like with these ravens. These ravens, man.
They Ravens be on steroids. That's what it is.
LTE ravens, man.
Yeah, they fly really fast. And,
Yeah, they make our postal service look like shit.
but I mean, Cersei, yeah, she just needs to shut the fuck up. Like, oh, very young dragons. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Enough.
Damn, that was kind of
I like how Varys did it. I like how Varys did it. It's like they're just baby dragons. And he's like, yes, getting larger every year.
Yeah, and soon they'll be on your front door and they'll burn you alive. And then what are you gonna do then? And you're gonna have a problem.
Which I think it's been 2 years since the dragons hatched. I think.
Has it?
I think that's somewhere stay. I know it's been at least a year, but I think it's been 2. I remember them mentioning somewhere. I think it was either this season or late last season. Like how much time has passed in season 1.
I mean, I really don't know. I would think maybe only. Well, it could be 2 years or so. I would think more of like a year.
I know last season you had a big problem with the way time went, especially with the premiere. I know you had a big problem with that. I remember that.
Yeah, because it didn't. Yeah, because it didn't make sense with the continuity. Didn't make, I forget what was it.
There was like they went from like they literally picked up where season 2 left off, but they portrayed it as so much time had passed. Because it literally picked up like I remember season 3 literally picked up where season 2 left off with Sam running from the White Walker, but then like later on it portrayed it like so much time had passed since then, to where it was very confusing.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah, but I mean, I would probably say the best gauge of how much fucking time it's been would probably check out Bran ass. I mean, that motherfucker was prepubescent in season 1, and now that nigga look like he about to graduate high school.
Like I said, I literally thought they recast Bran in season 3.
That's the same actor. That's what happens. That's what happens when fucking puberty kicks in. I mean, it was the same shit that happened in the Harry Potter movies. It's like Harry and Hermione and Ron were so cute in that first movie, and then in about a third one, it was like, damn, you niggas graduating college? Fuck.
Well, not to go off topic,
Niggas
but
grown.
it worked in Harry Potter. Not to go off topic, but it worked in Harry Potter's advantage because it is a year. Each book is a year.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Still though, them niggas look grown, and Daniel Radcliffe is at my age.
Where like by the end of the series, technically that's senior year adults. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, they're 17 by the end of the Deathly
yeah.
Hallows. But anywho, so but all in all, like despite the fuckery that took place at the actual council meeting, though, I did find it funny that that this is sort of the topic of discussion when fucking this is Oberyn's first fucking meeting and this is the topic of discussion and he's just looking around like, are you serious? Like he's like, look, man, I didn't sign up for no fucking dragons, nah. I thought I was just supposed to help you with this trial shit. Y'all talk about dragons and shit.
And why we gotta have these so? I like you. Why we gotta have these so early in the morning? God damn it.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. It's like, I don't know about that. And then I did find it somewhat convenient that it's like while they're talking so much about pretty much the lands, across the narrow sea from them, it's like, oh, Oberyn would just happen to be there, and he's one of the he's one of the few people that have actually been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Him and Varys are probably the only two people in that entire fucking room that's been across the narrow sea. So he could give them, insight and whatnot when they were talking about the Unsullied and all that jazz.
Yeah, he said he encountered the Unsullied.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how Varys questioned him, and riddle me this: do you think, because like he mentioned, and we know that Oberyn is gonna, he's has some pretty good battle skills under his belt from what we've seen in the trailer. Do you think maybe he was able to buy himself some training from the Unsullied? Like, go to a slave match, look, I want to be trained in their fighting style. I mean, I don't want my stuff cut off and everything. I just want to be able to fight like them.
He probably did. He probably found him a decent enough master and whatnot. I mean, you got to imagine how rich House Martell is and the fact that he was over there for so... Because how long he said he was over there? 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years?
He said he has traveled to many different lands.
Wow.
Over there.
Hey, you learned a lot of shit in his travels.
Yeah, so I mean, what I'm saying is it wouldn't surprise me. It would make sense.
Right.
But but then again, it's like I said, the reason for having Oberyn there is because it was a nice segue to get him and Varys, talking along in the Red Keep, their little scene, which was probably my favorite scene in the fucking episode. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We finally found out exactly where Varys is from, and yeah, once again, we know that Varys is still a player. He's still making moves. He's still, he can't concern himself with women or men. Why? Because he got his eyes set on that fucking throne. I don't know what that fucking means. I don't take it literally. But it was interesting to remind us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm saying.
Don't sleep on Varys.
Oh, no.
It is interesting, like, the way he put that, because one's earthly desires have been the downfall of so many characters in the series.
Yes.
And for Varys to point that out, that was very interesting. Like, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. And maybe that's why Tywin is so successful, because he doesn't, to his wife. I'm sure he's, vetted some women or whatnot, but since he doesn't love anyone, you know what I mean? Because his wife died.
Yeah.
So.
Did they ever say what she died of?
Yeah, she died in childbirth
with Tyrion. That's why Tywin hates. Well,
I remember.
Tywin hates Tyrion so much.
Right.
Yeah, totally not his fault, but these are sick, twisted people.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that about the not having desires, earthly desires, it's probably a commentary on Tyrion in the upcoming trial, because he had many desires. Namely,
yeah, and they all fucking bit him in the ass.
Yep.
They all bit him in the ass, which is a good segue point to finally talk about the trial.
Oh man.
That epic monstrosity of justice.
No, I've been wanting somebody to say something like that in King's Landing since they arrived there.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean it was it was on the tips of everyone's tongues. Tyrion just gave it a name.
Best scene of the episode.
That's a Fight Club quote for anybody watching the stream if you didn't know it.
When he was looking there, and I was like, "Who's coming in?" And I find out who it is. I'm like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!"
Wait, you were shocked by that?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, I wasn't.
I was I was like, wait a minute. She didn't go on the boat? I'm like,
dude, I told you she didn't get off. Dude, I told you she didn't get on that damn boat. I told you she didn't get on that damn boat in episode 2. You were in the small council. You want to go back and watch the small council?
No.
In episode 2, I told you she didn't get on that damn boat. And the reason why I told you she didn't get on that damn boat is because the last time we saw fucking Tywin say, "Bring her to my goddamn chambers." Tyrion fucking gets rid of her, and then the next thing we know, Tyrion's finding out that she left because Bronn said so. That's suspect, dude.
yeah.
That's fucking suspect. I knew she didn't go no damn well. I knew she didn't go no damn well.
I like how the way the trial started with, like, first he started with Marion Trent, and he really didn't lie. He told only one side of the story, but what he said was true. And that's why I like Tyrion's like, would you tell them why I said those things? You know, but he gets shut down. And then Pycelle, which I can't fucking stand Alzheimer's ass Pycelle. Oh, I've never been able to stand that old fart. Oh my god, that man is fucking annoying. Now, I had this for some reason this theory popped in my head that when he produced the necklace, and I'm like, all right, was he in on it? But why? He's the most loyal Lannister goon in the series.
Yeah.
But someone told me that I guess they found the dead body of the fool. I don't know. It still seems really fishy.
No, Pycelle said that.
Yeah, but it just seems still really fishy. Why didn't he report his storage getting raided? I mean, why was that never addressed? Either. I mean, it's just, I don't know. But I digress. Okay, I was wrong on that one. You know, it's a random theory. But I still don't like Pycelle.
No,
I never have.
No, I don't.
Nah, he's not exactly a likable character. I don't think we're supposed to like Pycelle. That's why I'm waiting for whenever it happens that somebody just fucking cans him. But then again, dude. I mean, he's a lackey.
Yeah,
those type of guys kind of stick around.
He's the most loyal Lannister goon in the series.
Yeah, so no, Tyrion might take him out. Who knows?
Good.
But then Cersei steps up, and just other bullshit just pours out of her mouth.
We know Cersei. But we know Cersei's a cold-blooded liar.
How is that different from any other time Cersei opens her mouth?
Yeah, exactly. The woman spews lies.
Disgusting. It was so disgusting. And then, of course, Jaime. I would like what Jaime did. I mean, that's like some Stark shit that Jaime was willing to do for his brother. Like, that's some Stark family bond shit that he was
Definitely. That was major bonding, in my opinion.
Like,
that was good.
I mean, that was very admirable. He was willing to give up his desires, what he wants, and just go do what Daddy wants to keep his brother alive, even if it meant life on the wall. At least he'll be alive.
Yeah, they offered. Yeah, I love how Tyrion pointed that out. Though he was like, they offered Ned Stark the same thing, and we saw how that happened. I was like, yes, someone with a fucking memory in the series.
So which testimony?
But then Shay. By the way, Shay is dead.
Wait, what'd you say, Steve?
No, I was just gonna ask, but which testimony given pissed you off the most?
Shay. Shay's dead to me.
Shay, and it didn't piss me off, but I have mixed reactions about Varys' testimony.
Yeah, I was just about to say Varys is probably the one that pissed me off the most because it was so vague.
It was like,
you know what I mean? Like literally, his fucking testimony was neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
It was entirely neutral.
That's how Varys always is, though. He's always like neutral. Like, I don't know. It's like Varys is just that guy. It's like you never know whose side he's on. I mean, obviously he will do what is best for him, even though he claims to do what's best for the realm.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. I was just going to fucking correct you with that.
So it's like, I mean, how are you a fake person? I mean, what is? I mean, I don't know.
Well, he thinks. I guess he must think that whatever is good for him is good for the realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be that type of character. Yeah, that's very true. But he also remember he told Ned Stark, "I'm not a hero. I'm not gonna." And I took it as like not that I'm brave. As like I'm not gonna stick my neck out for anyone but myself, kind of thing. Because I mean, he was like he didn't want Ned Stark. He got obviously in the conversations that they had when Ned was locked up. He
Yeah, at
thought that
least
was a huge mistake. But that neutrality of Varys is just like you never know. You never know what he's gonna play.
Yeah.
that's why I always like Varys more than Littlefinger, because even though he says he won't help you when shit gets real, at least he's upfront about it. Like
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
Littlefinger, fuck Littlefinger and his bullshit. Man.
Yeah, exactly. That motherfucker is a snake in the goddamn grass.
Yeah, he is.
But here's my whole thing. If you harbor on this idea that Varys only does what's best for the realm, so you're honestly going to sit there and tell me that Varys thought that if Tyrion gets executed, that's what's best for the realm? So I guess him helping Tyrion as much as he did during season 2, that was because Tyrion, me helping him is what's best for the realm right now. But now that fucking Joffrey's dead and Tyrion's the one who's blamed for it, maybe it's best for him to just go ahead and take this bullet now because it's what's best for the realm.
Well, in season 2, I remember him distinctly telling Tyrion he doesn't want Stannis to win because of Melisandre. I remember he mentioned something about hating
He
magic.
hates magic. He hates
Yeah,
magic.
he hates
So
magic.
So
Well,
he
of
figured
course.
Tyrion and the Lannisters winning would have helped. And in this case, I would think that maybe he doesn't want Tyrion to die, but the fact is, it doesn't look like it's going to happen any other way. So you better land on the right side, the side of the living, so you can continue doing what you feel is best for the realm. Maybe Tyrion wasn't exactly the biggest part of his rescuing the realm idea.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm making. If that's the case, then he just used them.
yeah.
Simple and plain. He just fucking used them. He used them because it was advantageous at the time, and then afterwards, peace. That's messed
Oldham,
up.
though.
I don't want to make this a huge side discussion, but I will say that I just want to say this: do you think Varys really does need to play it so safe and neutral? Because you think that if he did decide against Tywin, they would just off him because the simple fact that he is their intelligence network, that he has a great deal of value. I mean, he's pretty much just solely their entire intelligence network on the other side of the narrow sea.
Right.
So with that, do you think does he have to play it so safe?
Absolutely. He doesn't have a house behind him.
Yeah.
But being what the power that he holds, being the intelligence,
That
do you
don't
think
matter.
he has a little bit of leeway?
That don't matter.
He's a
Uh-huh.
foreigner.
He's a
basically
foreigner, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when Joffrey was in power. I mean, who knew what that guy was going to do? At any
Well, yeah,
given
Joffrey.
moment.
Yeah, no one was safe with Joffrey.
Exactly.
But Shay, man, this bitch is dead to me. Shay is dead, dude. I would love for Shay to get if I was Tyrion, I would capture Shay and I would give her to Ramsay and be like, "Here's a new play toy."
Oh my God.
That's just sick and cruel. And twisted.
Which I mean, and you said it best, Larry, though, in your review, and I think I said the same thing. There is no hell like a woman scorn, or
Yeah.
no hell fury like a woman scorn, and that's because I think like she thought that a lot of things that she said, I think in her head were true, and I'm talking about the Sansa stuff. I think that she really thought she was telling the truth with that stuff because of her jealousy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to this day, dude. Well, okay, first off, let me just go on record by reiterating, because I've said it multiple times in my review, Shay was one of the weakest characters of this goddamn series. And her scenes are amongst the weakest in the series.
Agreed.
Yeah, her whole animosity towards Sansa thinking that Tyrion was into Sansa, and all, I mean that came out of nowhere. That didn't make a lick of fucking sense.
I agree. I never liked that storyline in season 3. I never liked that shit.
Wasn't in the books, I might add.
There you go.
See, thank you.
Hey, was it?
No, the whole animosity towards Sansa and getting jealous, never in the books.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that works. They got to make that love triangle somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, because what
They gotta fit it in there somehow.
What do I always say about filler, ladies and gentlemen? You can always tell why, because it doesn't make fucking sense.
I'll tell you after the stream. I'll tell you in the after stream. A little thing. A little tangent I got into with someone. I'll tell you after the stream.
Okay, so based on Shay's testimony, I know everybody's pissed at her. Do you guys think maybe there was more to it? I mean, like she just didn't just show up out of the blue.
She's probably in league with
crap about him. I mean,
I'm thinking she's in league with Tywin.
Yeah, she is.
You don't think so?
Because that's the character that we are led to believe she had contact with before her supposed departure. When Tywin says, "Bring her to my bedchamber," you didn't think that happened? Wait a minute, I'm talking to Steve. You already know what the fuck happens. I mean, to Rick and Bankai and everybody watching this stream.
When I think about it, though, I knew she was gonna pop back up at some point. But when I think about it, though, I could see, because Braun is a sellsword.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very easy to believe that someone offered Braun a lot of gold or even a lot of silver to be like, hey, instead of bringing Shay to that boat, bring her over here. Because Braun even told Tyrion, yeah, we're friends, but I like money. You know.
To be honest with you, dude, I don't even think that's what it was. I think Shay went to Tywin after Tyrion broke up.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
To get back at him. Because her testimony, that's all it was. That's all it was about, was getting back at Tyrion.
Yeah.
So you don't think it could have had something to do with, if Tywin was indeed part of it, you don't think it had something to do with making or ensuring that he's guilty, so that Tywin's plan with Jaime does go as according to plan? You don't think she may have been trying to save him?
No, because I think that's reaching, and that's because there's no way to guarantee that Jaime would even do that.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't think
it's not like the Jaime option was on the table before the trial. Tywin brought it up to him when he got back. He turned him down.
Okay, the Jaime option. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is there was no way of even counting on Jaime even being involved in the trial. Jaime could have just stood there, and what I'm saying is Jaime could have just stood there in the trial, and Shay being involved would have brought about the same result.
Mm-hmm. Jaime's offer was icing on the cake, because Tywin was going to win either way, because he was going to finally be rid of Tyrion once and for all. I think that's what it was. Like, finally, after years, he found a way to finally get rid of Tyrion once and for all. Because had that been Jaime, where Jaime was accused, that trial would never have happened.
That wouldn't have happened.
That trial would never have happened. That's why when Tyrion said, I'm not on trial for killing Joffrey, I'm on trial for being a dwarf. That is the realest statement this entire series has ever made.
Yes.
Yep.
That was realist to the real. Like, no truer statement has ever been made in that series than that.
So if you feel that Tywin, or that the whole Jaime thing, nobody could have known that was going to happen, including Tywin. If you guys feel that way, do you think, do you think Shay was in on it with Tywin? Do you think Tywin already had plans, regardless of what Jaime was going to do, to send Tyrion to the wall instead of killing him?
Now, that's a possibility. I can't say that's not.
That's a possibility.
I don't. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, no, I don't think so.
I mean,
because hear me out. The reason why I don't think Tywin already planned to send Tyrion to the wall regardless was because that would mean that Tyrion would have been charged with killing Joffrey. You know what I mean? Like, for him to face that punishment means that trial would have had to end with, okay, you are guilty of killing Joffrey. And if that's the fucking case, Tywin's not going to send Tyrion to the wall. No, he's going to make an example of he's going to want to make an example of the person who killed the king. Why? Because you don't want anyone walking away from that with the idea that that sort of insurrection, that you can get away with that. Remember, he went to war because Tyrion was taking captive. He killed Robb for rebelling. You killed the king. You think you're going to go to the fucking wall?
Okay, you make a good point. But in season 1, wasn't it Tywin and Cersei who wanted Ned alive to be a constant reminder to the realm, even though he was in the Night's Watch, that he was a traitor?
But he didn't kill Robert.
Okay, so you're just saying it's the crime, basically?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they accused Ned of conspiring after Robert's death, not killing Robert himself.
Oh.
If they would have, if they were accusing him of killing Robert himself, yeah, he would have gotten the fucking Baylor. No fucking Baylor. No fucking questions asked. I don't think so.
Okay.
That's just I don't. What I'm saying is I don't see how sending Tyrion to the Night's Watch could have mattered to Tywin one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have made any sense.
All right, so
and don't tell me it's because he couldn't bring himself to kill his son.
Nah.
He put him in the fucking vanguard in season 1.
He doesn't have. He doesn't look at. I mean, yeah, he has no love for Tyrion whatsoever as a son, as a child.
Exactly.
I do love though that you have the epic speech that for the first time in this entire series, Tywin has egg on his face because Tyrion's like, you know what? I'm gonna let the gods decide this. Trial by combat. And Tywin's like, you little son of a bitch.
What face? Tywin's face fell, boy. You didn't see that thing.
Tywin's like, you little son of a bitch.
that bitch fell, man. I saw that. I was like, oh, pick up your face. Pick it up.
That was awesome. That was like, yo. But I do love like how Oberon was just kicking back watching this whole.
Oh my god, the part with Oberon.
Like he was watching an episode of Jerry Springer. Like, look at these dysfunctional ass Lannisters.
He's like,
look at these. Look at this. What? And he's all asking the questions. Like he was the only one asking questions.
Did you do
like,
well,
did you fuck him like he was the last day on his earth? Did you?
Like you fucked him? Like he was like answering those questions with Shay.
Oberon was cracking me up the whole time. He's just chilling, like.
Yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Oberyn decides to bring the whole family down to King's Landing. It's like, y'all gotta watch this shit. It's the greatest show on earth. It's the greatest show on earth.
Lannister's going wild, man.
He'd be like, hey, Varys, you saved the shit on Facebook, right?
Oh, no, dude. That shit would have been fucking hilarious if Varys is checking his fucking Palm Pilot. He's like, Oberyn tweeted, that rant was awesome. Trial by combat, here we come. Getting my damn sun spear, you heard.
Hashtag dwarf.
Hashtag half man rules.
Okay, so
it's like sending this to all my peeps in the Hills tribes. Half man going ham.
Half man going ham. Oh man.
Y'all better tweet that shit when this small council is over. Y'all watching this? I'm just saying.
I don't have a Twitter, but I'll make one for that.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the viewers. That was comic classic gold.
I'm sure they.
That was good.
Dude, if I can get they killed my nigga Ned to go worldwide, I could get Half Man going ham to go worldwide.
Yo.
So as excited as everybody was for this scene, I'm gonna have to point out a contrast to Dany's scene when she decided to burn all those people and everybody was all happy and excited. Everybody was happy and excited about this scene too, but don't you think, or do you think maybe Tyrion made a mistake?
In choosing the trial by combat?
No, and here's why.
Over the Night's Watch.
At this point, look. Here's why. At this point, it wasn't about surviving the trial. It was about sticking it to his dad.
Yeah, that's what I took. That's what I took from it too. And
At that point, it wasn't about survival. It was about, you know what? I'm fucking tired of this shit. I've been dealing with this shit all my life.
yeah, I agree with that because here's the thing. With Tyrion requesting the trial by combat, at least now there's at least a chance for him to get out. You know what I mean? Whereas if he would have gone ahead and, first off, if he would have gone ahead and pleaded for mercy, regardless of what happens after that, he went on record stating that, yes, I did kill Joffrey. Please take mercy on me. No matter what he does after that, you know, that's going to follow him to the fucking grave and beyond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, because dude, remember in season 2, how many fucking peasants did we hear about? Gendry, perfect example. Gendry's gonna tell Arya, "Oh, your father was a traitor," and she's like, fuck you," because that's the thing. People own in this show. People only believe what they're told. Okay. That's why now everyone is just now starting to believe the whole Lannister incest rumor, because now it's, you know, the rumor has spread or whatever. I mean, not rumor. I mean, you get the sense of what I'm saying though. You know, it's a rumor. They don't really know. It's fucking obvious. Anyway, but no, the thing is, if Tyrion would have went ahead and pleaded for mercy, that would have followed him, right? And then if he would have been sentenced to the Night's Watch, then that means anything he tries to do that defers from him going to the Night's Watch will immediately result in his execution, in his termination, because he would then be a deserter. At least this way, there's still a chance that he can get out. I'm not saying that he will. All I'm saying is the option is still on the table now. Whereas if he would have pleaded mercy, that option would have been completely taken from him. Yeah. That's what he would have been doing. He would have been giving up that option. His last bargaining chip, his last fighting shot.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen, if Tyrion had pleaded for mercy and was sent to the wall, I would have loved to have seen what Tywin had to say to Cersei. Because I know Cersei wanted him dead. That would have been fun.
Oh, see that? Oh, I forgot to mention that. See, that's another reason why this whole bit about, well, maybe Tywin planned on Jaime, you know, doing what he did. Cersei wanted Jaime to kill Tyrion before it even went to trial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah, she wanted to kill him.
Yeah. So once again, that's a variable that you can't really count on. And Tywin isn't that type of character. He's more calculating and more precise than that.
Right.
You dig?
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
Now, where the hell did Rick go?
He left, apparently.
I killed him.
They killed my nigga Rick.
Small council murder.
Goddamn Lannisters. Oh, Rick, dude, we thought they got you, bro. I was like, they killed my nigga Rick.
My browser just randomly asked close.
In the bedroom with the poison on the doorknob. Kill my nigga Rick.
They should come out with a clue for Game of Thrones.
They should. That would sell like. I'm surprised they don't already.
Yeah.
They might. Who knows, man? They might have it already.
That would sell like hotcakes.
A what for Game of Thrones?
Clue.
A clue.
Oh, Clue.
A Clue board edition for Game of Thrones.
Oh, yo.
Even Monopoly would be good.
Oh,
the Telltale game, so.
Dude.
Go direct.
A Monopoly Game of Thrones would be fucking epic.
Go directly to the wall.
Yeah, and all the properties are, you know, fucking lands in Westeros and shit. Dude, that would be fucking epic.
And you go to the Iron Bank to get a loan?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then you can be sentenced to the fucking wall. Go straight to the wall. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 gold dragons.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that shit right now. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start emailing Mattel. Be like, look, man, we gotta go ahead and we gotta get these motherfuckers. Wait, who does put out Monopoly?
Parker Brothers.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna email them. Be like, look, man, Game of Thrones Monopoly. Let's make it happen.
Damn.
Let's make it happen. They're making fucking Monopoly out of everything else. Shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking SpongeBob has Monopoly. No, he has numerous ones.
Yeah.
It is crazy. So, anywho, I guess that'll bring us to our final thoughts on the episode, or just final thoughts, I guess. Any final notes?
Amazing episode. I can't wait to see what happens next week. Yeah, I mean, we said all we can say. I mean, there's nothing more we can say about this episode. There's no more praise we can give it.
Mm-hmm.
Next week should be really interesting. I think it's going to focus more on setup because the big combat's going to happen in 2 weeks. 3 weeks because it's going to be taking a break after this week. So,
Are they?
Yeah,
that's,
they're gonna it's for this movie. They're showing this movie about AIDS with Julia Roberts.
yeah. No More Heart, it's called.
Oh, that's the one with fucking
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah, I might watch it too.
I didn't know Julia Roberts was in it. Wait, is
I think
she?
she's in it. It looks like her.
Yeah, it is. Julia Roberts. And Phil Parsons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
So, wait a minute. So you said the combat's going to happen in 3 weeks?
Well, yeah. I doubt it's gonna happen this coming episode. Didn't look like it.
So it'll be the episode after next.
Yeah.
Unless you think that's going to be the big episode 9 thing.
I don't think it is because in the trailer there's supposed to be some big battle at the wall, and we have our Clash of Black, and we ain't seen that yet.
No.
I think that's in episode 9. That's just, I mean, we haven't seen that yet, so.
Wait, the fight at Castle Black? Not with Manson, them, huh?
Yeah, or maybe the Raiders, because they haven't addressed the Raiders, the Wildling Raiders that are in their lands, and since for what?
Oh, yeah,
four
yeah,
episodes?
2 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've even addressed them. So.
Huh. Yeah, but that can't be big enough for an episode 9. I mean, dude, remember the episode 9? You're talking about Ned's death, Blackwater, Rob's death.
Yeah. That could be episode 9 then. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what is supposed to top off this season. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. At the rate in which this show's going, I didn't expect them to get to the Mance Raider bit until next season.
I don't know if it's like a Mance Raider. I just know from I think it's the first trailer or the second trailer. They show the Max Watch a battle at night, and Alistair's like, "Tonight we fight."
I need to rewatch that trailer.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch that. It probably is the Raider, since they would be the closest in vicinity to Castle Black.
Yeah. So, but we'll have to wait and see, though. I mean, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens in this next episode.
What was in the preview for the next episode?
I know there's going to be some more deity stuff.
I think there was the Eerie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to focus. Yeah, the Eerie, Littlefinger. I think Littlefinger makes that. We're going to get another Littlefinger monologue. I love Littlefinger.
Yeah, he says a big thing. Like
they did this cool thing where someone was making a castle out of snow.
Yeah, I think that's at Erie or up north. And he's like, "What do we do to the ones that hurt the ones we love?"
Yo, Littlefinger has some awesome monologues.
Yeah, he does.
Wait, how the fuck is Littlefinger gonna be talking about what do we do to the ones? What do we do to people? To the ones who hurt? To people who hurt the ones we love. You don't love anybody.
Catalan. Well,
Cat.
but I don't know. I don't know. That's what he
or referring to how Sansa feels. What's happened to Sansa all this time?
Probably. Yeah, that's.
If that's the case, then you stab him right there because he was part of it, bastard.
Okay, so the Eerie. Didn't they show something with Arya fucking preview?
Oh right, Arya.
Yeah, with Arya and Hound,
And
like he
Hound.
mentioned, he's like, "You're nothing but a bag of silver to me," or something like that.
Yeah, it is like the things happen there.
Arya, you're nothing but someone on her death list.
You're on our death list, man. You better start running. I'm like,
Now he ain't got to run from Arya yet.
I need to rewatch the. Oh no, that's what it was. Yeah, fucking Tywin put a bounty on the Hound.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Right.
That's what it was. Huh.
Yeah, right. He said that. He said, he said, fuck the
You're also various lines. She's like, I think "fuck the king" was mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, because that's bad. That's what they were talking about in that fucking that the Hound was going around
Fuck
killing.
the king. Fuck the
See,
king.
it's like that. Like I was telling Zoe, like, how the fuck did they know that someone said that? Everyone died. How did Various know that someone said that?
You wanna know how you knew? The Hound just posted.
Exactly. Exactly. See, fucking. They got fucking Facebook.
God, it's funny.
So, yeah. So, anywho, so I think that's going to go ahead and oh Lord, an hour and a half. Did not even mean to make it this long. Okay.
But we had
So
fun, goddammit.
So that's going to go ahead and conclude this week's Small Council video segment. I want to thank you all for joining us again this week. And in the comments below, leave your thoughts both on this week's episode and what you guys are anticipating for next week's episode. And with that being said, this has been... Oh! Before I fucking forget, the Spotlight Sweepstakes, goddammit. The second week 2 of the Spotlight Sweepstakes is coming to a close. For those of you all who have yet to post character suggestions and to like the character suggested on the OAW Facebook page, link is in the description box below. Look for my character spotlight Arya Stark video, and in the comments of that post, leave character suggestions, and then like the one you want to see the most. Last time I checked, I think Littlefinger was in the lead. He had the most likes, and then I think the Hound had the second most likes. Anyway, that voting is going to come to a close as of Saturday night, because that's when the next spotlight that's when the next spotlight video will be released. It's on Saturday night. So by the time I finish Da Vinci's Demons on Saturday night, if you ain't voted or if you ain't suggested by then, tough titty, you're going to have to wait until next week when the contest moves over to Beamly.com. And with that being said, for those of you all who have yet to follow me on Beamly.com or to join the Game of Thrones TV room there, link is always in the description box below. Now, with that being said, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief.
Animerick here, Hannah the King. Good discussion. Thanks for, always. And yeah, can't wait for the Sundays.
SMX Wing, Master Whispers, Resident Stance Fanboy. Good stuff. Good talking to you.
Bankai 922, Master of Ships. I'll see you guys later.
And until next time, peace.